Are Poros just mutated dogs? Someone let me know in the comments. Hello and welcome to the Path of Least Resistance. I am Versailles. Still a little bit sick, so my voice is kind of like going in and out, but it's getting a lot better, feeling good. Today we're going to go over a run I did using the Poro King against the 5-star Lissandra adventure. A couple days ago, right before the patch dropped, we did the Poro King against Viego using epic relics. And I still think if you have Spirit of the Buru, you're going to want to use that. This is the build I came up with to go without. However, I ended up needing basically nothing in this build. It just kind of worked, which really surprised me. So this is at 3 stars. And with no bonus stars. So for our support, we picked up Garen. I picked him up because Bright Steel has the Mana Gem on it, and then also Concerted Strikes, and Garen himself had Thieves' Gloves. Thieves' Gloves got changed, so it's good now. I was looking for something with keywords on it, but none of these options had keywords on it, so I just went with Garen instead, mostly for that Mana Gem. Thieves' Gloves, again, also very good now. I see Dawning Age here. I don't want to spend rerolls, so I pick it up. That ended up being, honestly, game-changing. It was so incredible. And again, here I'm looking at keywords to make sure that I can get enough to start activating the 4-star effect. I see Von Yip as a Poro, so that's an obvious take. And then I also took Poro Snacks. No. Lonely Poro with Iceborne Gauntlets because capture is really good in this adventure. It's just kind of good normally, but it's also very good in this adventure. Against Omen Hawk, the thing you're going to want to worry about most is the Omen Hawk itself. It comes with Challenger, or sometimes you'll just have Vulnerable on all of your units because Lissandra does that. And I attack there hoping to trade. But as you can see right now, there's a 1-1 that if it challenges my unit will make it so that I can't block the 22-3, and you know, that would be bad. We end up having to, oh, we didn't have to sacrifice there, but after it's captured, when it's released, it loses its plus 20 power, so that's fine. Also, Garen becomes really inexpensive because of Dawning Age. We're able to play him for 3. In this instance, he got double attack, so we can just attack with everything here. It's pretty good. It also has bonded bucklers. And with this on board, we have the 4 keywords to start our scaling. Here I'm just passing because we have Judgment in hand, and so I can just wait for them to attack and Judgment. Otherwise I'd probably play the 2 Bright Steel Protectors to have good blockers to give barrier to a couple of the units. And now I think just attacking with the game. Nothing special at all here. Thieves' Gloves rolling double attack was really nice. I take Plucky Poro here. It has Elusive and Tough, so that's 2 keywords. And I took I'm a Spider on Poro King. Might have been better to put it on Garen, actually. I feel like I ended up using Garen more than the Poro King in this adventure, but, you know, I had hopes. Troll Scavenger can steal your cards. I think it steals one every round and then grants it an epic item. So you want to kill it kind of quick before you either run out of cards or they just have a better deck than you do because they stole all your cards. And because of Thieves' Gloves, we do want to be checking every turn to see what items our Garen has ended up with. So here he has Mana Deposit, so we can play him for free, which lets us play another card, like the Poro King, for example. And then here we have 4 keywords, so we're going to be scaling. Attacked with Plucky Poro, because the only thing that could block it was the bird, and if the bird blocked, that would have been positive for us. Here we can just kind of chill. We have Concerted Strike in hand, which means we can easily get rid of the whatever that's called. Rhyme Fanged Mother? Den Mother? I don't know. And then you can just wait for your units to get bigger than their units. With Poro King on board, we are able to use the snacks and grow through Archangel staff. Would have been better if I waited till Chemtech Duplicator was active, but it doesn't super matter. Did steal our concerted strike there, and so they were able to kill one of our units. That's fine. You want to keep a wide board because everything on your board gets +2/+2, so the more things on your board, the more power you're gaining every round. And basically, you never play Heart of the Fluffed. I could see a case for it if you needed just one unit to push through everything. But generally speaking, I think it's better to just not do that. Or if your board was full and you had a bunch of Poros in hand that were low cost, so you could just rebuild your board really quickly, that'd be another reason. Anyway, once you outscale your opponent, you just attack, win the game. Here I took Inspiring Light because it grants Spirit. I didn't really like the other choices either. Dauntless Vanguard doesn't have a keyword on it. Got kinda lucky. Troll Scavenger and Omen Hawk aren't that difficult. Snowy Razorclaw can be a little bit worse, but it's still not the worst option. Here I considered capturing everything as vulnerable, so I don't know that that's a good plan here. But I did it anyway to do 7 damage. And drawing the new one, I can still capture here. I might have decided not to, since they have quick attack, and then you would just lose the unit anyway. Here, use Bright Steel to give barrier, totally forgetting that they have all my guys have vulnerable, so that the barrier didn't even do anything. And I knew that before I played it, and I knew that immediately after I played it, and just not when I played it. I was kind of mad at myself with that one, but it's fine. So because all their guys have vulnerable, we can attack here.
Very risky indeed.
And I should have attacked with Lonely Poro. You see I hovered over it as a reminder to myself that that was a dumb thing to do. And here we have Judgment, so we just Judgment, easy, clear the board. And you just want to get as many Poros on board as possible. So we're in a really good position here. We have double attack on Garen. Everything they have has vulnerable, so we're not going to be losing units. We can choose our trades. And we got lifesteal here too, which is cool. And since we rally every round, I wasn't super afraid of anything. We can take our time and use Garen to remove their units as they play them, rather than trying to like sneak a little bit of extra damage through. Anyway, easy win. I think we got to full life there too, because one of the Poros rolled lifesteal. Here I take Poro Party. I don't know if that's correct, but seemed fine. The equipment would have been okay too, I think. Take an extra revive. And here I wanted Vestige of Helia. I think as long as our Poros can't be interacted with, they're going to eventually scale better than our opponents, and also reducing the cost of what's it called? Poro Snacks would have been good. Ended up taking Mortal Marks, since the Poros start low anyway. It's not like that much of a negative for us. And it's a pretty high negative for our opponents. Thought about Grandeur Plaza here, but I'm actually not sure how that interacts with Mortal Marks. Sometimes it'll just like kill all your units. So like you play it, it gets +2/+2, then it goes to -1, and then when the +2/+2 wears off, you lose. So I ended up just taking a Sparring Student. And I could be wrong on how that works, but I've seen it happen a few times, so I didn't want to test it out. I've seen it do weird things. But just passed here so that I could give my opponents a chance to play some cards before I captured. And they ended up playing like nothing interesting, so it might have been better to hold the captures for next round anyway. I don't know. And then we drop Garen, who has 2 keywords, we're still only at 2. This is the major problem. I attack here because I totally forgot that I didn't have quick attack, since I had double attack in so many other rounds. I just, like, I thought Garen had quick attack. So, that was a pretty bad misplay, but I think we got hit by Avalanche anyway, it didn't matter. Would have lost him regardless. Now that we have 4 keywords on the board, we start scaling, so the Mortal Marks won't be impacting us for very much longer. We play the Poro party, makes a bunch of Poros, levels up Poro King. And I decided to capture here. And this is a great board. Use Poro Snacks to just get over the damage limit. They reduce it with the Succumb to the Cold, but we Poro Snacks again, and because of the Chemtech Duplicator, we're getting like +12. So yeah, that ended up being super easy. Draklorn Inquisitor is probably the easiest mid-boss. Not sure what I ended up doing here. Ethereal doesn't have a keyword, so we kind of don't want it. Farside Alteration at least puts one in your hand, so that could be a reason. Also, we might not want to increase the cost of Lucky Poro, especially with Mortal Marks, so I think I ended up with Cytheria. Here I'm deciding how many cards I have that I would be happy to get rid of, and I decided my deck was actually fine. And I took tough on Garen, since we've mostly been using Garen over the Poro King anyway. Would have been nice to get rid of Heart of the Fluft. I think this ended up being the hardest fight. Mirror Mage grows really well. Electro Harpoon is really common.
Gently, gently.
Not sure why I didn't play Cytheria there. Maybe I wanted to hold the mana for something.
I see you.
There, I didn't want to drop Garen until they played a card. Because if they had another Electro Harpoon, we would have lost him. And then, you know, drop as many units as you can. Try to get those keywords. So we do have 4 keywords here, so we're going to be going up +2/+2 every round, as long as we can keep our units on the board. So they rolled Aftershock, killed our Poro King. Not a lot we could do about that here. And then just play Plucky Poro for your board. And then, I don't know if I was considering Poro Snacks or holding the mana for Concerted Strike. Problem is the Spell Shield I need to remove the spell shield before I can really do anything. So I guess I wanted them to block so that they could at least lose some health, and then it'd be easier to remove them later. Put barrier on Garen, so if they attack with the Mirror Mage, we can kill it. They end up just doing nothing instead, which is great. We have Lonely Poro here. I'm not sure I realized that, because Lonely Poro has capture, so we could have just easily captured their Mirror Mage, and then this attack would have been a lot better. And I end up capturing it anyway, so yeah, just a complete waste not to have captured it then. Their new Mirror Mage isn't going to scale as fast as we are, so it's nothing to worry about. And then they just kind of waste cards there. Attack with everything, easy blocks. We're bigger than them in, I think, almost every situation here. Except for the Pouty Poro. And the Pouty Poro dying will give us an extra keyword anyway, so no loss. Attack him in the game. Now that we finally removed the Mirror Mage. That's what we were waiting on the entire time. I don't really know what there is to think about there. I took Succession because it creates 2 units. Here, I decided to take Flash Freeze. It summons a champion, which is nice. And then I took Brainworm on Poro Stories and summon a champion on the other thing, Poros next, I think. We go into Ornn. Flash Freeze is just an all-around good card, especially going into Ornn, where he's gonna buff his units a lot. So I just wanted a way to deal with that. It's also, like I said, just a really good card. Being able to set something to 0 during their attack is really nice. Here we do have Capture, and I decided not to play it just then because I wanted to hold it for them to buff up their unit. I think I could have waited like an extra turn before I played it, but I mean, it was fine there anyway. You're gonna end up using Spirit Forge or whatever it's called. Time and Dedication. Before they attack anyway at first speed, so. Drop Garen, we have our keywords. Garen dies immediately to Fish Fight. Yeah, we drop that. Yep, I think we still have our keywords just off the Empowered Poro. Now we basically just want to grow our board bigger than their board, which will take us a few rounds. We have Flash Freeze. I Flash Freezed ahead of time there, and the reason was so that they didn't summon a Spirit of the Ram. We could have waited until they attacked first, then Flash Freezed, and then we would have killed Ornn. That probably would have been better. I was afraid to play Garen here because of the fish fight that happened earlier. They also have Bella's Breath, so I decided to attack instead. Not sure what I'm thinking about. Concerted Strike here just makes the most sense. Did it with the unit with lifesteal to gain a little extra life. And we can draw Plunger Poro for his keywords. Should drop Cytheria here as well. Again, just making a wide board is really good. Gives us more ways to block. Not sure why I dropped Garen. Ended up not really mattering anyway. Since there's vulnerable, we couldn't pick our blocks. Garen has elusive, so it's an easy attack. And we Poro stories to get an extra Poro to attack with. Could have attacked with Yumi too, I guess. I don't know, if you're planning on using units, it's fine, just go in, get a little bit of extra damage. Or you can just let them sit around and grow. Here's the Bella's Breath, which wasn't that bad. Only got one of our guys. Not really sure how to deal with the 22 health guy, but we do have a lot of elusive, so that gives us like fairly good attacks. Since Poro King's on the board and we have Voidborne Carapace, it's okay to like lose units. We're gonna get the keyword out of him anyway. Played Pouty Poro here. Actually lucked out and pulled Judgment. Probably would have been smart just to pass the turn since they let us. Not sure why they didn't attack. Either way. Ended up all working out. AI just started doing weird stuff. I think it would have been better for them to just keep pressuring me. Took colorful snacks, it's not bad. And at the champion item chest, we took Deathless for Garen. Going to Lissandra. So far everything's just been really easy. It just feels like the AI doesn't really contend well with stat growth. And you can do it pretty fast. And also you have a wide board to block things that could come through. Mortal Marks also helps obviously to make it so all their units are really vulnerable. Attacked here because I wanted them to play Lissandra so I could capture Lissandra. And they did Ice Shard to get their Lissandra back, which was a little bit unfortunate. There I was checking to see if they had I Am Inevitable. If they did have I Am Inevitable, we would have lost there. Drop Garen because he's free. Thieves' Gloves is so good. And we pass, let them attack. Frostbite. And then kill Lissandra. Always kill Lissandra if you have the opportunity. She is terrifying. Garen does have Tough, which means that he is immune to Ice Shards, which is really nice. If we play Poro King now, probably like a fairly good chance we're going to get hit with Ice Shards. So I think the correct thing to do here would be play Ethereal first. Or attacking is fine, although I wouldn't. It's a bad attack. End up just passing instead. And I dropped the Poro King. I still think playing Ethereal would have been better. And I do decide to trade my Deathless on Garen to get rid of Lissandra. Again, always kill Lissandra if you can. And we do end up losing Poro King there because, you know, we were obviously going to Ice Shards. Lissandra's deck has 5 Ice Shards in it. Not sure why I didn't play Ethereal, to be honest. It just is the thing that makes the most sense. Either way, should be dropping all of our Poros here so that they can be growing. Let's see if I do that. Oh, I know what's happening. I want to hold mana for Judgment. Because I've Dawning Age, it gets cost reduced to 7, so I needed every spare point of mana so that I could Judgment this round. And Past Me was so much smarter than Current Me. I do play the Watcher, which, I mean, it is what it is, right? Play Poro Party here, make a bunch of Poros. This does unfortunately keep me 1 mana short of being able to Judgment, or not Judgment, Flash Freeze. So we didn't have a good attack into the Watcher, had the Watcher blocked, but they just decided not to, so that worked out pretty well for me. I think Affectionate Poro would have actually been the best call there, because it would have given us Challenger, which would be really helpful in like this situation, where I could pick what I remove, and then they just decide to not block, but they also decided to not attack, so we just get to attack them again. Okay, Flash Freeze on the Watcher. Thought maybe I would just let it go, just to make sure that it died, but this worked out. And their Ice Shard wasn't that good because our units have been growing every round. Get more Poros on the board. We can pass here, we have Judgment for safety. Attack with everything. Get hit with Succumb, but it's not enough. And we win! So I think we got a lot of good nodes. They were all pretty easy to deal with. There weren't any of the really hard ones. Snowy Razorclaw is a little bit difficult, but we didn't get like difficult units even in Snowy Razorclaw. Lissandra didn't have I Am Inevitable, and yeah, I mean, it just worked out. I feel like largely off the back of Garen with Thieves' Gloves and Dawning Age letting us play him on round 3, oftentimes with mana deposit. So yeah, I don't know, it was just really easy. So hopefully if you try it, it'll also be easy for you. And again, if you have Spirit of the Buru, you can just put that on and your life is going to be just so much easier, because you're always going to have 4 keywords as long as you're playing any Poro basically, except for Lonely Poro. Yeah, that is all for me. Thank you for watching. If you like what I'm doing, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.